I've noticed people joining already. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I've just sent an email out to our email list as well. If you're not on the email list, by the way, Ats on This, get to atsonthis.tv. Get a membership. That'll get you straight on the email list. But if you just want to get on the email list initially so you get notifications of every time I go live or I'm doing broadcasts, or we've got some incredible guests coming up this week, the biggest casting directors in TV, going to be talking to you direct from the comfort of your own home. Just get yourself over to atsonthis.tv, scroll to the bottom of the page and you'll see a little email subscribe link. Just get yourself on the list if you want. If you're watching for the first time, my name's Ross. I run atsonthis.tv. Started it 10 years ago. It's been an incredible journey, but basically I sit down once a week with the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers in TV, and bring them to your home. Basically, you get to join Zoom calls with us. You get to literally jump on camera, put your acting career questions, anything on casting, anything on auditioning, anything that's just specific to you. Basically, you just get personal one-to-one coaching every other Tuesday and every other Thursday. So basically, this week we're going live on Thursday night. Next week we're going to go live Tuesday night. The week after will be Thursday, then Tuesday, and literally bring you the biggest names in the industry to your living room. Recent guests include people like Matt Lucas in terms of actors. Matt Lucas, David Harewood, huge actors. Casting directors like Jill Trevelyan, cast Downton Abbey. Emmy-winning casting director Rachel Frett, cast stuff like The Office. Sophie Holland, cast things like The Witcher. Awesome people, and loads of people who are here live have been on those calls. So appreciate you all. Let people know how good they are. Matt Banks in the house. How you doing, mate? Tanika's here. David Bell's here. Hope you're doing well. David, Esther. Sandra's in the house. In Spain. Sandra's in Spain. But she's going to be home before I can get a haircut. Excellent. Yeah, that's another thing I always say at the start of these broadcasts. It's another week, a brand new week. Thus, it is 1 week closer to us getting haircuts here in the UK, the 4th of July, and I cannot wait. Michelle, good evening. Sarah's here as well. Sarah Jane's here as well. Gemma's here. Dawn's here. So we've got loads of stuff to share with you tonight. Again, we're going to be showing you behind the scenes of this week's casting director webinar. We're going to be holding on Thursday with not one, but two of the industry's biggest casting directors, cast some of the biggest TV literally on the planet. And then I am going to show you some clips of stuff you might have missed. I've chosen some clips from Johnny Boutwood's. Johnny Boutwood is the casting associate of Shaheen Baig. He was with us last week. I've chosen 3 clips for those who missed it. I'm going to play you tonight 3 really pertinent things that came out of that chat. Let me know if you were on that chat in the comments here on Facebook. Oh, you know what as well? I've not sent this off on Twitter or on LinkedIn. Let me just post this for the Twitter and LinkedIn people. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you were on that chat with Johnny. Which I just thought was wicked. Again, a super, super honest, open chat about casting, what goes on at Shaheen's office, who's at Shaheen's office in terms of, who's responsible for what, who the casting assistants are, who the casting associates are, Shaheen herself, how they cast things like Peaky Blinders, Amazon series Hannah, massive, massive stuff. And we just had a nice chat over a beer. It was quality. So let us know if you're on that, and I'm going to play some clips of that tonight. Steve Goodwayne is in the house. Moira, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Alex Hewitt's here as well. Let me know how your week has begun. It feels like stuff's starting up a little bit, doesn't it, again in the UK at the moment. It's the 15th today. We've started seeing non-essential shops opening, and I'm seeing casting directors and agents on Twitter tweeting that a lot more briefs are coming in, stuff's going out, and it looks like hopefully the industry's going to start moving again a little bit. It's obviously not going to be the same for quite some time, but I've even seen people within our community, within Ats on This, doing shoots and stuff over the weekend, literally acting shoots, corporate videos. Most of them have been around health and safety and people getting back to work. But you know what? It's acting in it, and it still works. So while there's no big drama going on, let's take what we can get. Also, want to give a big shout out. I don't know if he's on here tonight. David Carpenter, member of atsonthis.tv. Getting loads of people tweeting me now from off the back of these webinars that they're getting agents off the back of either meeting them on the webinars or then watching the replays on atsonthis.tv or listening to the podcasts on atsonthis.tv, and then they're reaching out to agents and they're getting signed. There's been 8 people in the last 4 weeks alone. Anna, huge shout out to you. There was Andrea, Rich from Miami. He's from Birmingham initially, lives out in America, has signed with Janet Hampson in the last couple of weeks, who was one of our guests on a webinar. Noticed David Carpenter just signed with Alex Priestley. I did a great podcast with her. People are just getting signed up, man. So it just proves that if you act on if you listen to the stuff on Acts on This and you act on it, that's the whole point of it. You take action. Like, people are getting some like serious results now. So David, I don't know if you're watching anywhere tonight, but massive shout out to you. Huge congratulations for for signing, which is awesome. Michelle says my week has begun well. Sent you an email just before 9 p.m. Oh, I haven't got it, Michelle. I will read it after this. Melanie, how you doing? Hope you're good as well. This is Freya. All right, Freya, how are you doing? Which Freya, though? Which Freya? It says Melanie, but which Freya? There's a few Freyas in the community. Let us know. Or is it... I don't know who it is. We get lots of people joining on other people's accounts. Sometimes on the webinars as well, someone will join on someone else's iPad, and then I'll think, oh, this is a new name, and I'll bring them on. It's like, oh, no, it's not. It's just someone signed in on a different iPad. Gemma, how you doing? I hope you are good. So for those who missed last week, let's show you. In fact, let me show you where you can go and catch up on all this stuff. And I'm going to play 3 clips tonight from Johnny Boutwood's broadcast that are just going to help you in your career regardless. Just want to give you guys value, but also show you what else you can get involved with. So over on actsonthis.tv, this is the main website. If you go into the preview features section here, you can see what's been going on recently. And we've had some absolutely freaking cracking guests on. So Johnny Boutwood from Shaheen Bey Casting, going to play you his clips tonight. These are like 2-hour broadcasts that you can get involved with, though. You can literally jump on camera and chat to these guests. We had Matt Lucas the week before that, who was absolutely awesome. David Harewood, who's just one of my favourite actors on earth. Danny Brocklehurst, who's just been nominated for a BAFTA for Brassic. He wrote Brassic with Joe Gilgan. We had him on the week before that. We had Jill Trevellick, who's the casting director for Downton Abbey and other massive period dramas. So you can go and watch. You can catch up on everything you've missed. If you're not a member of Acts on This, you can watch 15 minutes for free. If you want to watch the full thing, get yourself a membership. It'll cost you just £6 a week. There's literally nothing better you could spend your money on. The way I see it is you have 2 choices. You literally can go and sit in Costa when it opens again and spend £6 on a coffee and cake, that a lot of actors do. Or you can get yourself an Acts on This membership and actually start networking and speaking to the people in this industry who can literally change your life and your career. So let's play you some little bits of Johnny's now. And what was your favourite takeaway? Those who are joining live tonight, let me know in the chat as I play this, if you watch this live, what your favourite takeaway was. Here's a mashup of the full thing, and then I'm going to choose like 3 clips that I want to play you that I think are just going to add value and make you think a little bit differently about your career as well once you've heard them. But this is a little bit of a mashup of everything that you missed. Currently residing at Shaheen Bey's office as casting associate. Shaheen's office is responsible for some of the biggest dramas on the planet. Loads of them have been nominated for BAFTAs literally in the last week. Stuff like Peaky Blinders, Giri Hadji, The Virtues, one of my favourite comedies, Man Like Mo Bean. Big shout out to Guz Khan, who was nominated for his comedy performance. It's Mr. Johnny Boutwood. Good evening, mate. I just want people to be absolutely certain of everyone who's at your office and just, what they do. So we've got Johnny Boutwood is casting associate. And then we've got Layla Michelle and Gabby. But you just tell us, so who are the associates and who are the assistants? So
it's myself, Gabby, Layla, Michelle, associates. Gabby's an assistant, but essentially associate.
Yep.
And then Shane's the cost director.
When you obviously select who you want to bring into the room, how many actors do you bring in for casting?
If it's a TV series, you've probably, again, you probably want to see more people, so maybe about average 20 people per role.
What sort of questions should we be prepared to expect?
I think we all come in and say, hey, how you doing? Life good? What you been up to? And then we do get kind of down to the scene quite quickly.
What was the weirdest choice that an actor made in one of the auditions that you can remember?
Bold choices sometimes can really mislead an actor, because that one puts pressure on you to make this big old bold choice, and then your acting really becomes quite big.
You send one email to the general email address, info@whatever it is, and will that be passed around?
In case of our office, we all have the info address, so we all have the access to the general email. Try and take the pressure off yourself and relax. I know that's easy for me to say because I'm on the other side, but just try and enjoy the experience as much as possible. I'm sure you all do. And give everything, commit to it, and be truthful.
Boom! actonthis.tv/live if you want to get involved in this week's events, or actonthis.tv. Just get yourself a membership. You can watch everything that you have missed. But yeah, that was just a little bit of a mashup of just some of the questions. We spoke for 2 hours on everything to do with casting and auditions, and Johnny, his life, his route into casting, what goes on at Shaheen's office, everything kind of in between. Super, super valuable, invaluable chat, absolutely. And yeah, there's a few things within that mashup that I want to pick out tonight. And one of the first things that he said in that chat that you heard there was about bold choices as actors, and this is like a phrase that's so overused that has anyone been asked to make a bold choice, or been told in a workshop or something, oh, you know what, we want actors to come in and and be confident, and just it's about making a bold choice, and you've gone, I actually have no idea what you're talking about, and sometimes I think it's really counterintuitive as well, because if you're going in as an ensemble role, you're like, right, okay, I want to get this role as an estate agent, or the receptionist, or I don't know, the doctor who comes in and says 3 lines. I don't really think you want to be making too much of a bold choice in your audition, because I've played a lot of those roles, and your job when you turn up on set is to ultimately kind of just melt into the into the show. You're there for a day, everyone else, all the regular cast are there for for the whole shoot, and you don't really want to be kind of upstaging anybody or standing out for the wrong reasons. So it was something that I've spoken about on a couple of occasions with casting directors on these broadcasts that we've done, but we asked Johnny in particular on this chat about what he thinks is a bold choice, and whether he sees people screwing those bold choices up in auditions. And I'm going to play you the clip about what he said. So if you are filming a self-tape this week, or as the industry opens up again, I just want you to take the advice you're going to hear now, and hopefully it's going to help you do a better job. Brenda, good evening. Safa, how you doing? Safa says Johnny was an amazing guest. Johnny was awesome. He was really, really good. Definitely. Polly says, yeah, I've always bold choices on the 5-day feedback courses. It varies as to who's holding those classes, how bold they want you to go. I was once told to be more orange in an audition. More orange? Can anyone tell me what that means? It's a bit of a generic one. Tanika says yes, and I don't have a clue how to make a bold choice. Feel pressured to do something out there. I think that was my biggest takeaway from Johnny. Well, for those who didn't watch the thing and couldn't make it, here is just 2 minutes of what Johnny was, what his opinions are on bold choices. I hope it helps.
What was the weirdest choice that an actor made in one of the auditions that you can remember?
Bold choices sometimes can really mislead an actor, because that one puts pressure on you to make this big old bold choice, and then your acting really becomes quite big. When I was saying earlier about how truthful and honest we like, it is about being truthful to the scene, truthful to the character, truthful to the script, truthful to yourself, and just being honest and playing it natural. If you met this, I get it, for 1 or 2 lines, of course, those kind of roles, maybe making a slightly bolder choice, but don't go over the top with it, because it does sometimes makes your performance quite theatrical, and I think it does put pressure on you to be like, oh god, okay, what's everyone else thinking? Just relax, try and relax. So much pressure, we all do in just general life, but try not to put too much pressure on it. I think it actually brings out a better performance, personally. Weirdest choice. I mean, people have come in and taken the extreme. Maybe we're casting like a person who isn't the nicest person in the world, let's say a villain as it was, and have taken that villain and really taken the bold choice of playing, I'm going to be like a caricature of a Bond villain or something. Not that we cast Bond, but you know what I mean? It's like that is a bit too, that bold choice they made really didn't help them, because it just wasn't the kind of, as I was saying, the creating of putting everyone together. When you're making a film or making a TV series, it doesn't work because it's just so out there. Unless it may work and it's in the nature of the show, then of course. But you hopefully would get the information, like the character description, the summary of it. The directors, you'd be able to research them, see what they're into, and what they've been directing and stuff.
Boom, there you go. I completely agree with him in terms of, it just puts too much pressure on you. I think if you go in, you're going for a smaller role, and right, I need to stand out, I need to make a bold choice, you're probably going to stand out for the wrong reason. One thing that I took away, like one of my biggest takeaways from the entire night that we had last week with Johnny was, at Shaheen Bay casting, where Johnny works, the thing that he kept coming back with time and time again is he kept coming back. Did you notice he kept coming back to the word truth and the word honesty? And that, in terms of, every casting director has a taste of actors. They just do. They have a certain taste in the types of actors they like and the types of actors they bring in for, for castings and stuff. And it made it so obvious and so clear that at Shaheen's office, the type of actor that they go for and they look for all the time are the ones who just play the truth, the ones who just go for the honesty and just are natural. They don't do anything too crazy, too big, too out there. So yeah, it's a little bit of insight. That's what's great about these webinars is every casting director who comes on, they all have slightly nuanced answers to the same questions. So they all prefer ever so slightly different things. Agents are the same. When you're reaching out with your correspondence and stuff, I'll bring some agents on and we'll say, what do you like in an email? And they'll say this and that. And, other agents will come on and it won't be the same. They might not like the thing that the other agent has said that they like. So the more I think you can kind of hear from different people in this industry, it's certainly not a case of going, if I listen to one podcast on actsonthis.tv with one agent and with one casting director, that's it. I know everything, because it's just not. We're all so individual. Human beings are just so different. We all like different things. This industry is very subjective. So I think the more you can listen to from each person, and then if you are reaching out and you are writing or you're tweeting or you're sending emails, listen on these broadcasts to specifically what the taste of that agent or that casting director or whoever it is that I bring on for you guys to talk to. And it just means that your correspondence to them can be so much more focused, knowing that, what you're writing there is going to resonate with them. That's something that I've just noticed over the last 10 years of doing this. Some casting directors, are well up for banter in their emails and, slightly quirky subject lines and stuff like that. Others are just like, no, just want to keep it dead straight because you're going to confuse me. I just want to get your CV and your spotlight link. I'm going to drag it out my inbox into a follow-up folder on my email, and I want to know by reading the subject line exactly what it is. And they just want something like, for me, if I was sending something as an actor, it would just be Ross Grant actor submission, as opposed to anything else in the subject, just so that they can catalog it. So you need to listen to each of the different people that I get on here, and then when you are reaching out, do what they like. It's just golden insight that I just don't think you get anywhere else. That's the first clip. Then I'm just going to go back to the comments, and then I'm going to play you another one. All right, Brendan, how you doing? Great words about subjectivity, says Ronald. It is, isn't it, mate? It's just proper. There is no one fits all answer in this industry when you're trying to do anything in it at all, or in life. It's just, there's nothing special about the acting industry. Eloise, how you doing? Good evening. It is just about, about the individual people and understanding them and knowing what their wants and needs are, and then making sure that you fulfill that when you're reaching out or wherever you're in a room with them, so that you are, giving them a bit of what they like, but just not in that way. Right, I'm going to play you the next clip, which was you know what? This follows on. Of course, this is why I've chosen it. So the next thing is email tips in terms of just tips reaching out. To this I guess just stands for Shaheen's office and and Johnny, and if you're emailing anybody at Shaheen's. But here's just a little clip on what he was talking about when it comes to email. See you in a sec.
When there is a casting office where there are several casters, and you want to send through an update, like this is my latest show reel or something, do you send one email to the general email address info@whatever it is, and will that be passed around? Or do you send individual emails to people you've previously met?
I would say, look, if you've got the personal direct email and you've met them, then there's no harm in emailing that direct person. In case of our office, we all have the info address, so we all have the access to the general email. So I think to start off with, if you haven't got that direct contact with me or Michelle or whoever, you should email the general email, which is info@, and then we all have access to that. So one of us will at least see it. And as I said at the start, if you have a direct contact, you should definitely go down that avenue, I think.
And how do you address that email if you don't have a specific contact in the office? Because obviously, I know from agencies, for example, you should never write "Dear Agents," but really find the person that is right for you. How is it with the casting office? Do you write "Dear Shaheen Baig team," or would you write "Dear Shaheen, Johnny, Michelle, etc., etc.? Yeah,
we get a range of that. You could. I think safe bet is to say "Dear Shaheen." Just put a first name. Look, you can always put Shaheen, Johnny, Gabby, Michelle. Like, you can absolutely do that. I don't think that's going to hinder you. But if in doubt, put Dear Shaheen. And also, you can go on to if they have a website, if you want to do that, if you're a person who wants to include everyone, which is absolutely fair to do, maybe go on the website, go on IMDb Pro, see if you can find the information of that office. You don't have to. If in doubt, just put Dear Shaheen. And I think that works perfectly.
Boom, a little bit of insight into how email works at Shaheen's office then. So like you said there, if you have a specific email for one of the team, whether that's a casting assistant or a casting associate, then obviously you can reach out to them. But there are a lot of people who are, who are going to be new. Maybe you're reaching out to casting offices for the first time. And I thought it was just interesting. He was saying there that every single person in the office, because it's not something that I've really thought about before, but every single person in Shaheen's office has access to the info at address. They'll all have that one plus their own one as well. So when you are sending in at Shaheen's, I don't know if it's different in anyone else's office, but when you are sending emails, to that office, chances are that everybody's going to see it. Because, or at least one person out of the 5 people who are there, are going to see it. So it's not that it's going to some sort of defunct address that they just put on their website just to, keep actors happy, and then they just collect all the CVs and spotlight links in there, and they don't ever see them or they don't bother with them. It's like that, the burden of that address is kind of shared between 5 people so that they can get through stuff. And then obviously if you've got somebody's personal email address, reach out. And that's something that comes up again and again and again as well, is I get asked so many times by actors who email me almost looking for permission if it's all right to reach out and email the casting director or email an agent. Over the last 10 years and recording over 350 hours worth of podcasts on actsonthis.tv with the biggest casting directors in the industry, agents and everybody else, there's not a single person who has been on who has said, don't email me. I don't like unsolicited emails. I hate actors. I don't want to hear from actors, and I don't ever want to see a CV or showreel in my inbox. They're all like, look, this is part of my job. This is exactly, how it, this helps me to discover new actors. This is exactly how I find people a lot of the time. And still so many actors are shit scared of it and just don't want to reach out. So and like you said there, if you don't know, who's going to be on that info address or anything like that, that's the only one that you've got, just put Dear whoever the lead casting director is within the office. So Dear Shaheen, if it was going to the info at address at shaheenbaycasting.com. Obviously reach out, and have something interesting to say. We go into a lot of depth on that on every call that we do in terms of, what it is that you're reaching out for and with, and having something fresh to say, and how you should write those emails, how brief you should keep them, what you should include in them, what you should put in the subject lines. And like I say, it's different on every single interview. It's slightly different. Everybody wants something ever so slightly different. So do get yourself over to the website and just, and listen and watch all of the features that I've done over there. But you'll soon learn. And like one email can change your career. One email literally can change your career. And if you're not sending any at all, then it's just not going to happen. You're doing yourself a massive disservice and you're making a mistake. Let's have a look at what else is going down in the chats. Who else we got here? Ryan, how you doing, mate? Hope you're good. Good to see you here again. Rachel's here as well. Matt said, I've seen on social media the extras are not able to get any extra work from now on. I don't know, Matt, in terms of background stuff. So if you're talking about background work for the industry, there's not going to be a lot of stuff shot for, there's not going to be any crowd scenes happening for a long time. In terms of TV is going back to work now. Some of the soaps, Emmerdale, Corrie, Hollyoaks, EastEnders will be starting up again if they haven't already. I'm sure some of them already have. But in terms of, having lots of supporting artists knocking around, they're probably going to keep that to the absolute minimum. But it's getting better, isn't it? I mean, obviously, I don't want to go dive into the figures around COVID-19. We're here to talk about acting, but in terms of, it's still horrific. There's still dozens of people dying a day, but 2 days on the run now, the figures have been under 100 people, unfortunately, have lost their life to COVID. 2 days on the run now, whereas, just a few weeks ago, it was 1,000 people a day. So we're definitely on the right way. I just hope we don't get a second spike. So we just got to be super, super careful. But I'm always optimistic, aren't I? But I do think, fingers crossed, a lot of, if we're careful, we're sensible, no one takes any massive risks, I do feel towards the end of the year, stuff really will be almost back to normal in terms of shoots. It's still not going to be loads of people next to each other or crowded on a bus if you're a background artist or something like that. But I do feel, mate, that, it's getting better, isn't it? I do feel we're on the right track, definitely. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be forever And Steve says EastEnders are starting in July, so that's only 2 weeks off, Steve, innit? So, is hopefully getting back together. Things are happening again, and I think now is just a fantastic time when casting directors have more time on their hands, because although work is beginning again, it's certainly not up to full speed. Same with agents. If you're not reaching out now and you're not using email now, I don't know when you're ever going to get the balls to do it, because right now is a time where agents and casting directors have time to look at stuff and reply. They'll reply a lot more now than they ever would have done. And as stuff picks up again, you're going to get fewer and fewer replies because people are going to get busy again. So I just think now, if you're looking for advice or help, I think people are, and have been over the last few weeks, in a position to give you their time, when they just won't be. There's no way I would have been able to get the guests that I've had on actonthis.tv over the last few weeks if it hadn't have been for lockdown. No way at all, because they'd have been busy. They'd have been working on stuff. They'd been doing projects. And I think, if anything, they've been kind of grateful to spend 2 hours with us on a broadcast, because it's brightened up their night and they've had something to do. And that continues. We've got a fantastic couple of guests this week. I'll play you the trailer for that in a second. But yeah, get your relationships started with people now, whilst you're in a position to, because it will get harder as the year goes on and we start getting back to work. And definitely I'm in busy self-taping, says Anna, that I've forgotten to email. Well, if you're getting self-tapes, you're already auditioning, Anna, you don't need to worry about it. That's but she says thanks for the kick up the ass. It depends what the self-tapes are for. If the self-tapes are just for yourself, then yeah, get emailing. But if the self-tapes are coming in through Janet, who Anna signed with on one of our webinars, off the back of one of our webinars, very happy about that. Then great new agent. If they're coming from Janet now and you're getting self-tapes, then you're winning, Anna. So you can be cool about that. You can relax. And Michelle says she sent me an email regarding new show reels to CDs. One contacted me today. She's not casting, but she's asked me to read a script online. It's her script. You know what I mean? Michelle is a hustler, though. Michelle is just doing it. Anything that happens on this, she just takes action on it and does it. She got herself a part in Brassic, which is just incredible off the back of just taking action. And she's now shadowing on an Amazon Prime series, aren't you, Michelle? And now, yeah, you're getting replies back from casting directors who are now asking you to read their scripts. I mean, that's the result, but you don't get these freaking results, guys, if you sit at home shit scared to ask for anything and to just see it. Too many people are just afraid. You have nothing to lose. You are losing if you do not reach out to people and put your work that has to be a good quality. There's no getting around that, skirting around that issue. You've got to be good. But if you are good and you are sat at home and you're good, and that if you ask yourself honestly the question right now, am I fulfilling my potential? I don't think I am. I'm hustling my ass off, but I still think I've got more to give, and I try every single day, and I'm not perfect. I don't always manage it, but none of us can really sit there, every night. Some nights I feel I can go to bed and I can be like, you know what? I have nothing left in the tank today. I've sat here, I've hustled all day, I've done everything that I can, and I'm going to bed and I'll fall asleep within 2 seconds because I'm like absolutely drained. I have nothing in the tank. How many nights a week are you going to bed where you can say that? Or are you going to go after this at 10 o'clock and watch 2 hours of Netflix and then fall asleep and get up late tomorrow? Or are you going to spend an hour prepping something so you can send it first thing tomorrow when you get up early because you go to bed at 11 o'clock tonight instead? But yeah, you've got to be honest with yourself. Sometimes I have to be just like, before lockdown, I was like, right, I felt I'd maxed out my workload. I was recording 2 video podcasts a month for Acts on This, in terms of like, that was quite high production. There'd be a lot involved in getting the guest, organising them to be here, getting them up here, setting up the studio in there, recording the thing, videoing it, editing it. It might have only been two features a month, but they took a lot. And there was a lot of promoting around and that sort of stuff around them. And I was like, this is, I'm probably maxed out. When lockdown hit, I was like, shit, like I need to start serving actors better because I've created this community over 10 years and, I want to give people, more value than ever so that they support the community. Because, if I was honest, I was like, what if everybody, suddenly has no money and then they can't subscribe and then everything I've worked for just goes down the pan. So rather than doing 2 podcasts a month, I ended up going, right, I'm going to do 2 a week. So I upped my workload by 400%. Now that did get to the point where I was like last week, I'd done that for 12 weeks, 2 a week. it did get to the point where I was like, right, I now feel like I'm burnt out. I can't do anything. Other things in my life are taking a back seat, like my own health and my physicality and working out. So I can't do this any longer. We're going to go to 1 a week. But that's still, when we do 1 a week now, that's still twice as much value as members were getting before lockdown, and twice as much work. But before lockdown, I thought I was already maxed out. So I've doubled the workload practically. And you know, it proves that I wasn't maxed out before, and I just felt like I was. There's a great book that I read by a Navy SEAL who called it the 40% rule, and he said in the Navy SEALs, they're like, look, when you feel you're absolutely done and you've got nothing left to give, he says you're only 40% done. He says literally when you're crawling on your hands and knees and you feel you can't go any further, says you're only 40%. You've got another 60% left. And I always think of that when I feel that I'm maxed out. So there's got to be stuff in your life, in your career, where you're not, you know, you're not maxed out. You might feel you are, but there's always some more you can do. So yeah, you know, reach out and put your work out there, because you don't want to be regretting when we are all back to normal. This is a golden opportunity for people. I know it's been horrific for a lot of people, but there is always advantage in adversity, and there is a lot of advantage to this right now within our industry, and the fact that everyone is stood down and things can happen for you, you know, whilst people have more time. So fair play, Michelle. Keep putting stuff out. Esther says, I'm praying we don't get a second wave. No, I'm optimistic. I just feel, and I'm not going to get political at all. I'm not saying the government have done a great job of handling this, but I feel that us as people, like, you know, the majority, and I know the news will highlight the dickheads and the idiots, but I think the majority of people are pretty sensible. That's been my experience of humans when I've been out in public, is that no one wants to get it. No one wants to pass it on. Everyone wants to stay safe. So I'm optimistic there won't be a second wave, because we're educated now, you know, and we know it's out there. So, you know, regardless of whether a government handles it well or not, as long as we as a people handle it, which I think we're capable of, yeah, I'm positive. I'm positive and optimistic, Esther. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I think we're going to be good. Honestly, I think we're going to be good. Ryan says, Janet Hampson, she's bloody lovely, lives down the road from me. Ryan, if you've not got an agent, get yourself round for a cuppa. Definitely. But yeah, Janet's a fantastic agent and has signed probably 4 or 5 people from the Acts on This community after that webinar that she did with us. I loved it. And Kate Northern as well. We had Kate Northern, another great agent, on. She's signed actors, you know, from the community as well, from that webinar. And I've already got one lined up for you. There's going to be another agent the week after next. Next week, do you know what? I've not even showed you this week. Right, let's go on to this week, and then I'll talk about, maybe I'll give you a sneak peek at the very end about next week. So this week, this is happening Thursday night. If you've not signed up for membership yet, freaking hell, you want to get one for this. 2 of the biggest, not 1, 2 of the biggest casting directors in the TV industry are going to be live in your home on Thursday night. You will get a chance, if you join us, to jump on camera, put your career questions to these guys live, and get some one-to-one career coaching that you just do not get anywhere else. Check this out. Actors, I've got double trouble on the way for you. I want to invite you guys to another incredible actsonthis.tv live webinar taking place on Thursday, the 18th of June at 7:30 p.m. with these 2 incredible guys here, 2 of the biggest casting directors we have in the industry, Andy Brierley, Victor Jenkins. You guys are responsible for like massive stuff on your own individually. So Andy, you look after shows like Silent Witness. Victor, you've got Des coming out later this year, a brand new ITV drama starring David Tennant, Jason Watkins and Daniel Mays. And then together, when your powers combine, underneath the umbrella of the casting office, together you're responsible for huge series as well, stuff like The Spanish Princess, The Watch, just massive stuff. Thank you so much for doing this. First up, Andy, what we're going to be talking about on Thursday, mate?
We are going to be trying to shine a bit of light on the industry as a whole, from our perspective, say what it's like to work in a casting office and as a casting director, and try and empower actors within that, so that it's not all doom and gloom, it's not all a horror show. There is a load of really good things that actors can do to make sure that they also feel empowered in their own careers.
Absolutely. I love it. You've got to feel empowered. If you want to feel empowered, guys, and you want to join in on this, get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live for full details of how you can join us on the night and get details of how you can join future webinars as well. You're literally going to be able to jump on screen, jump on camera, put your career questions, anything on casting, auditions, anything you like, to Andy, to Victor, anything to help you get further in your career faster. And Victor, a little bit of pressure on you. Why don't actors want to miss it?
Why would you miss it?
Why would you miss it? You don't want to miss it. Be here or be somewhere nowhere near as good for your career. Get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live and we'll see you there. actonthis.tv/live. Get your freaking membership because it's going to be fire. I'm telling you, I can't wait for it. Yeah, Victor and Andy genuinely just cast the biggest stuff, and they're two of the nicest guys in casting as well. We had their casting associate Seth Mason on a couple of weeks ago. If you go to actonthis.tv, scroll down the preview section a little bit, you'll see there. That's Seth's broadcast. So we did a Zoom call with Seth talking all about the casting office, which is ultimately Andy and Victor's company when they combine. So they're casting directors in their own right. They cast huge stuff on their own, stuff like, I say, like Silent Witness for Andy. Victor is casting things like Broadchurch, Humans, Dark Money was a great BBC Two drama last year. Des, an upcoming drama. You can see David Tennant in the middle of your screen there. He plays the lead role, one of the lead roles, alongside Jason Watkins and Daniel Mays. In Des, an ITV drama coming out. Aidan Turner there on the left in a brand new upcoming drama called Leonardo, based on Leonardo da Vinci's life. And you've got the Spanish Princess on the right-hand side there. A huge... Is it Amazon or Netflix, Spanish Princess? I always get them confused. I think it's Amazon, isn't it? I think. And well, I always get confused with the two of them. Two platforms. But yeah, awesome guy, Seth. So now we've got the bosses in. We've got Andy and Victor. Like I say, you are literally going to be able to jump on camera live with these guys. Put your career questions to them. Absolutely anything that you want on any part of your career. And the thing is on these calls as well, get freaking specific. If you're going to join us, come armed with a question that you know if you got the answer to is going to help you move forward in your career. Ask yourself, what is the one thing that if I had it now, or I could get the one thing now, that's going to make everything else easier or unnecessary, what would that be? And for some people, when you're first starting out, it might be something simple like Spotlight. It might be something simple like, I just want to land an agent. Maybe you don't have an agent yet, and you want to get some tips from these guys on the agents that they work with, so when you're applying to these agencies that they're decent and they're well connected with these people. You might just want to introduce yourself to Andy and Victor. You might want to talk to them about a project that you are making right now, something to do with social media and how they view stuff online and whether they would watch stuff. We ask people like really specific questions, and we've got people some serious results as well. Like we had Danny Brocklehurst, the creator and writer of Brassic. He's now got 2 scripts in his hand from 2 members of the community who on a call said, would you read my script if I sent it to you? I've now sent that over. And, he has those. Like, we've had people sign with agents. We've had people be given general auditions. We just ask for what we want. And a lot of the time, life will pay the price that you ask of it. But you just got to ask. And a lot of people are too afraid. So, actonthis.tv/live if you want to be there for that call. I promise you, it'll be absolutely awesome. Really, really looking forward to it. I've had Victor on the site. He's one of the most regular guests, I think. He must have been on 4 features over the last 10 years, though. So it's only like once every couple of years, I guess. 4 or 5 times Victor's been on. And I've just seen him move further and further and further up the industry. And he's moved up because he's just a bloody nice guy and he's great at his job. And when him and Andy combine forces, they're both brilliant as well. And Andy himself has had a huge career on his own as well. So very excited for that. Do come and join us. A few questions in the comments here on Facebook. So I've got a question here saying, Ross, what advice do you have for a table read? I have a pending proper Zoom table read. Any tips on what to expect? Yeah, I did a table read the other night on Zoom, so I'll tell you exactly what to expect. So normally a table read, for those who don't know what they are, when you are cast in a show, normally it would be a television drama. What happens is before the week of production, normally just a few days before, maybe a week before, the entire cast and crew, and I mean everybody, everyone from the production coordinators to the runners to the makeup artists, costume, accounts, execs, actors, casting director, everybody gets around a table. They're generally held in big buildings in Media City or at the BBC or, wherever, sort of like the headquarters of places are, production companies. They can be pretty daunting, but you get great food, every single one. So you walk in and there's loads of food out there and you have a little bit of a sandwich and a chat with people. You all sit down, you read the scripts, and it's the first time for many people that they will have had the whole cast together and the writer and everybody, the producers and the commissioners, hear the script as an ensemble, as a cast out loud, and then they can decide whether bits need rewriting before it gets shot, and they just, the costume, figure out like what people look like next to each other, and hair and makeup be like, right, maybe we should test this little patch on your hair because we're going to dye it. It's all kind of like just the week before production, everyone gets together, and they're amazing. Some that I went to before lockdown. I went to Russell T Davis's Boys, brand new drama that's coming out later this year, based around the AIDS crisis in the 80s. One of the most moving read-throughs I've ever been to. And the reason, Scott, the reason why that was so good, and the reason that most read-throughs are really good, is when actors bring it, and actors actually, they're not reading, they don't have their head down in the scripts and they're just reading it and they're not bothered. It's when they're actually bringing it to life and they're actually giving it. So it doesn't mean you need 100% performance and, you're screaming your head off, but like you should be at like 90%, for those kind of things. So if it's on Zoom, it'll be way less daunting because you're not in that environment with people. I would make sure that you are well lit so people can see you. I'd make sure your audio was good so people can hear you. I would put earphones in. For Zoom, I don't know why people go on Zoom and don't wear headphones, right? So if you don't wear headphones, what happens on Zoom is the audio that comes out of your speakers gets picked up by your microphone and then goes back to the other person. So Zoom will try and cut that out. But what ends up happening if you don't wear... Here's some ninja tips for Zoom. Do you want some ninja tips for Zoom, right? If you want to make sure your audio is perfect quality on Zoom, you need to be using a computer, not a phone or a laptop, right, to do this. But this is what you would do. I wish I could show you it, but I can't show you it live here. In the settings in Zoom, right, if you open Zoom up on a computer or on a Mac or a PC, right, in the top corner you'll have some preferences. Top left hand corner, if you click on a Mac anyway, like zoom.us, it'll come down. You can have some preferences. Go into audio. And underneath the audio settings, you'll have like microphone input and you'll have like speaker output as well. What you want to do is be wearing headphones, so your speaker output is your headphones. And when it comes to your audio, underneath the volume of your microphone will be a little tick box that says automatically adjust my volume. Untick that and set your volume at 75%. What that will do is that will make sure that your microphone stays open the whole time. So that will stop the beginning of your words being cut off. When someone tries to talk over someone on Zoom, you don't hear the first few words that they say. And that's because Zoom's turned your microphone off when you're not speaking. It's called a noise gate. Until you speak over a certain volume, it won't activate it again. You want to untick that box and it turns that feature off. So if you're in a read-through, Scott, and you were talking over someone, you had to come in on someone, you're having an argument, they're going to be able to hear you over the other person. And likewise, everyone on that call should have their automatic volume, stuff on Zoom turned off, right? And if you have headphones, and you don't need it anyway, because you're not going to hear any of the audio coming out of your speakers going back into your microphone. It's going to be going straight into your ears and going nowhere else. So if you turn that off, that automatic volume adjustment off, and everyone does that, and everyone wears headphones, your Zoom calls will be amazing. But you will have noticed that when you've been on a Zoom call, if you've not had headphones in, particularly when you try to talk over each other, no one can understand the first 5 words out of anyone's mouth because their microphones are off, or you're getting feedback from what someone else has said coming out of your speakers back into your mic. That's just the truth, isn't it? Surely you've noticed that. Everyone, let me know if you've noticed that, because that is what happens. So go into your audio settings. You can't do it on an iPhone, I don't think, unfortunately. But if you join your Zoom calls on a laptop, have headphones in, go into your Zoom settings and turn off automatic volume, automatically adjust the volume of my microphone. Untick that box and just set that slider to 75%, and your volume's going to be solid on your mic all the time. For read-throughs, I think it's essential, like whoever's organising it should be sending that info out, because otherwise you can't talk over each other, or you can't talk even remotely close to each other without everybody's volume being ducked. Call it ducking, and just, you can't hear it. And apart from that, mate, just act. Don't read it. Don't have your head in it. if you can have your scripts on your screen, and what you could do is you can minimize your window. Well, like, you know, sort of make your window small, you know, small and towards the top of the screen. So it's not perfect, but, you know, I'm reading what's on my screen now, and I'm almost looking in the camera. I'm not quite, but it's not too far off. Whereas if I was reading a script and I'm like this, sorry for those on the audio experience, but you won't be able to see this, but if I'm like this, reading my lines, you're getting nothing from me at all. So, you know, give it to the camera. If you can learn some of your lines beforehand and actually give a performance, you'll shine. But yeah, enjoy read-throughs. It's a real chance to act. They shouldn't be called read-throughs. They should be called act-throughs. I bet, honestly, some of the read-throughs I've been to over the years, though, absolutely blow me away. And you'll come away so excited and inspired that you're going to spend time with that cast creating that project. Yeah, honestly, absolutely awesome. I'll absolutely love going to read-throughs. The only problem is with the Zoom one is you're going to have to make the food yourself, mate. That's the only problem. And Safa said, is it the first time Andy's been on Acts on This? Yeah, Andy Brierley, this is the first time this Thursday that Andy will have been on actsonthis.tv as a casting director. Very much looking forward to having him. You know what? He's so nice as well. We had a chat. Normally we go on Zoom for like 10 minutes, you know, to record those trailers to invite people to it. Me, Victor, and Andy were on for like an hour just talking about everything in the industry. And Andy's got some really good insight and really good philosophies around inclusivity and diversity in this industry as well. We spoke a lot about that because of the Black Lives Matter movement right now, you know, and how our industry can support that and stuff. And Andy said some stuff that I'm not going to say now because I want him to say it. That's really a different way of looking at stuff, and was like a bit of a wow moment for me to go, God, yeah, I've never really thought of it like that. And we'll get into talk a little bit about that as well. But yeah, really inspiring stuff about how we can move this industry forward in all areas around diversity and inclusivity. And inclusivity is like the real word there, not just diversity, but really including people, really making people feel welcome. Which is what we try and do in this community, and hopefully we achieve that, definitely. Everyone's agreeing with the Zoom thing. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Oh, cheers, Ryan. Ryan's even put an image up in the chat there of where that setting is within Zoom. That's exactly it, mate. There, yeah, get rid of that tick. It'll be automatically ticked, that box that says automatically adjust my volume. Get rid of that. It'll just, you know, it'll ruin your, just ruins your Zoom calls if you have that on. It's just, you know, it's rubbish. Unless you've got two people on a call, it's not too bad. More than two, it's just pointless. How do you even get into read-throughs, says Alicia. So how you get into read-throughs for TV is that, so I get invited to a lot of read-throughs even when I'm not in the production, and that's not because I'm special or anything like that. It's because I, over the years, have been in other productions those companies have cast, and I've built a rapport with the production coordinators and the script editors and stuff like that. It's not a position you can ever apply for. You can't email and go, hi, I'd like to be a reader. They just don't do that. It's generally like an invite-only thing. What you need to do is book. First of all, the first step is book a TV job. Book a TV job on a drama. And then when you get to go to the read-through, make sure you don't just sit there timid and shy, but you go round, because everyone's in the same position and everybody knows it's awkward. Go around and meet everybody. And I mean everybody, that, like, you know, makeup, wardrobe, you know, set designers, script editors, script supervisors, promo people. It's amazing. The amount of varied jobs in that room is just incredible for you to learn about all areas of the industry. And then when you've maybe, you know, landed a couple of roles in a show that the same production company have you know, produced, it's at that point where you can be like, listen, you know what, if you ever need anyone to read in the male parts if they can't be here, or, you know, if you're a female and you need someone to read in the female parts, it's about building rapport and relationships. Occasionally, if you have a really good relationship with the casting director, they will, again, it's not something you can really apply for, but they will invite you, you know, if they need a hand. So say there was a casting director who I know well was doing some castings in Manchester and they were from London and they couldn't afford to bring their casting associate with them on the train and pay for them to come here for the day. You know, they might ask me and say, will you come and read in at these auditions? It's something that builds very slowly. Generally, you do it for one casting director, and then if they trust you and you do a good job and you're reliable, then when they hear another casting director, this is what's happened to me anyway, when they hear another casting director needs a reader. This happened when I used to read in for David Martin a lot, when he was casting stuff with Beverly Keogh. And then Andy Pryor got in touch with David Martin and said, I'm doing some castings in Media City. Who do you use to read in your auditions? And he said Ross. And even then, though, even off the back, because Andy didn't know me then, even just off the back of a recommendation, off another top casting director, it still wasn't a green light for Andy to go, right, yeah, we'll let him in, then he can come and do it. I still had to send my spotlight and my show reel to Andy, for Andy to then look at and think, is this guy good enough to be coming in and reading opposite these people and bringing in for these parts? Because you are integral. As a reader in a read-through, there's a lot of pressure on you. Sometimes I've had to go to read-throughs and read 29 roles in one sitting, because there was a lot of people, who either hadn't been cast or couldn't make it. Some of those roles are big, and you're reading in for the star of the show. And then you've got really famous cast opposite you, and like you're playing the part of the guy who's going to be played by the big guy, like the big actor. It's a fantastic experience to get that amount of action with someone famous opposite you who's very good at their craft and really play it against them. And that's why you should, at read-throughs, you should really bring it, really act. It's never going to be 100%, but it's not far off. People who bring 50% to a read-through, you won't get asked back. It's bullshit. You really got to give it some, bring it to life, because you've got to keep people occupied for the 3 hours you're there. If you're reading 3 episodes as well, might have 50 people in the room, and like some of them are just makeup, costume, all those people from behind the scenes, and you've got to entertain them because they're not reading a line for that entire 3 hours. So you've got to make it entertaining. You've got to make it worth their while. And yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, there's quite a bit of pressure on you, so you've got to be good. But on the other hand, there's no pressure on you because you don't have a job to lose in a way, because you haven't been cast. And if you do a really good job, I've been cast from doing read-throughs. Or people even have amazingly, unbelievably have written me things. Because I've been in a read-through and they've gone, you know what, I'll write you something in this because you've really helped us out. So it is good. It's incredible, but there isn't it's not like a route in where you can just apply. It's not a job opening. It's all based off your network and nurturing relationships. So the best thing anyone can do if you want to start doing that is just get a job, get your first few TV credits under your belt. And hopefully if it's for the same company, you'll start making connections at that company. And then, it can go from there. But just get your first job just so you can go to a read through because you're in it. Forget reading in. You want to be going there because you're in it. That's what everybody should be aiming for, definitely. But yeah, you'll enjoy it, Scott, on Zoom, mate. You'll enjoy that, definitely. It's cool. But yeah, just make sure your audio setup is good. Awesome. Right, time to get that TV roll to start. That, says Esther. Yeah, get the ball rolling. Honestly, there's no time like the present. Get stuff out there, people. And we'll talk to Andy and Victor on Thursday night about what they're casting. They just told me about a new project that they have just started casting, and we don't know. They didn't know if they could talk about it on the broadcast or not, because I don't know if it's been, and they don't know if it's been announced yet. But they are about to start another huge project, like a big project as well. So we can talk as much about that as they are prepared to talk about, but at least that they're going to go on and do something, something pretty big. So if you join us on that call, I'll do my best to get your questions answered. Some of you guys will get a chance to jump on and actually chat. But even if you don't, that's the key to these broadcasts, right? There's 200 people join them sometimes. Can't get 200 people on camera when we've got a really busy session like that. But even if we get 15 people, 10 people, 15 people on camera, whatever, the savvy ones amongst you, if it was me and I wasn't on camera, I'd be watching intently and listening intently to what these guys are like, what they want, how they respond to people, things that they're giving away, and I've been making notes about those things and really understanding them as a person, and also things that they like outside of the industry as well. Follow them on social media, see what they like. Victor's massive on music. Just look at the stuff that Victor posts on online. He's really, really big on music and stuff like that. If you can strike up rapport with people over, mutual interests in stuff, start commenting on, stuff that people are putting out in a genuine way, because you are genuinely interested and you have a common interest, then that in itself can even break the ice with people and just start that journey of making relationships with these people in the industry who can really make a difference. Because these are the people that people are dying to get in front of, and they're in your house on a Tuesday and a Thursday evening via these calls. So that's why I just think people are making a massive mistake if they're not getting involved with these. You can't on one hand say, I want to be a successful TV actor, and yet not want to start building that rapport and learning about these people who are the very people who you have to get in front of to get a job on TV and get a job and get further in this industry, the career that you are saying you really want. It's just so backwards if you're not getting involved. If I didn't run this, I just scratched my own itch. That's the thing, right? I didn't set this up as a business. It never crossed my mind that this was going to be like an actual business that I could run and make a business out of, generate revenue from. This was scratching my own itch. I asked myself these questions. How can I really find out about what happens in casting? How can I find out how it really works? Where can I talk to casting directors and agents who can actually get me work? And where can I start building my relationships? I was like, nowhere. There's very, very few places for it. I'm just going to make the place. So this whole venture of Acts on This over the last decade was just scratching my own itch. So that's why if I wasn't running it, I would so be a part of it. So if you're not, there's nothing else I can really say. You are making a big mistake. Had a little Twitter conversation with Jason Mazza today. Guys, you should definitely take a look. If you want to have a laugh, says Ali. We had Jason on. Jason's an incredible actor, fantastic producer. He's 50% of Unstoppable Film and TV, a company him and Noel Clarke run together, and they create some absolutely massive films and TV. And there you go, Alex. That's exactly what it's about, mate, though. This is exactly what it's about. When you've joined in a call with these people, you have like so much info on them and so much knowledge about them that striking up a conversation with them on social media or via email is so damn easy because the introduction has been done for you. It's really straightforward. But Alex, you just understand it, mate. That's what people should be doing. Definitely. Right, we're going to start wrapping it up in a minute. What time is it? What time is that? Holy shit, 4 minutes to 10. We've got 4 minutes left. Right, I'll stop talking for a second. Anyone got any burning questions for 4 minutes? This has gone a bit fast for me tonight. I didn't think that I thought it was 1:45 or something. I didn't know it was 4 minutes to. Right, well, first of all, who's going to be joining us on Thursday? Right, yes, in the comments if you're going to be there. I want to see who's joining us. People have been emailing me saying, do you have to put your questions in beforehand? No, you don't. Just turn up on the night. When you log into Act on This, let me take you over to the website. And also, let me just hammer this home again as well. You do not have to wait for me to send you your Zoom link via email, right? If you go to any page on the website, you see this purple banner at the top. It says members, click here for all your live join links. Click on that and it takes you to this part. I'm not going to scroll any further because I don't want people to see the join link. But it'll take you to this part of the website. If you just scroll down this page, you will find your join links there already. So you don't have to wait for my email at all. If you go into the members area as well, it's actually just the second section down, upcoming live calls and how to join them. I can't make it more simple than that, guys. It's at the top of every page here. Click here for your join links and it's here. So go and get them. Go and get your link now. Paste it into your phone or wherever you need it to be so that on Thursday at 7:30, you just need to click the link and you're in. You don't need to wait for my email. I think people have been waiting because I send an email invite twice on the day of a broadcast. I do one at about 1:30 with a 6-hour warning, and I do another one at 6:30 with a 60-minute warning. You don't need to wait for that. Just go and get your link from the members area, and you've got it. It's easy peasy, job done. Right, any more for any more? I'll be there, says Linda. Nice one. I'll see you there, Linda. Matt says, during lockdown, I've been connecting with casting directors on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's another incredible platform. Those who are watching on LinkedIn tonight, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, LinkedIn's powerful, man. Definitely. Brendan says he met casting directors from Crocodile Casting on Zoom. They asked me to send them a self-tape. I did it today, and they have said they loved it and would like to keep me on file. There you are, see, Brendan. Doing it. David said he's in. He's there. Rachel's going to be there on Thursday. Ollie's back in the house. Ollie, how you doing, mate? He's going to be there. Don't even need to ask me, says Alicia. Yeah, exactly. Kathleen's going to be there. Sandra's going to be there. Annabella's going to be there. Ryan's going to be there. Gemma says definitely. Tanika says yes, I'll be there, says Rachel's. And Esther. Everyone's going to be there. And if you're on this call or you're listening on the replay and you're not going to be there, Ruth's going to be there. What else are you going to be doing? Honestly, it's just an absolute no-brainer. actonthis.tv/live to check out the schedule. Should I show you who's coming up after Andy and Victor? Did I show you this last week? I don't know if I did. Got a great actor on who just is not off your screen at the moment. Like, he's everywhere, this guy. He's going to be with us the week after. So then the Tuesday after this Thursday, next Tuesday, ultimately, we're going to have Mr. Daniel Mays in the house, who's an incredible actor, you know, starring in absolutely massive stuff, starring in Code 404 for Sky, opposite Mr. Stephen Graham right now, starring in White Lines for Netflix. Loved him in 1917. An unbelievable film. Obviously, we're going to find out what it was like for him to work with Sam Mendes. And you know what? I've just seen this guy really put the slog in over the years, going from a guy who's getting smaller parts and bit parts and stuff to now leading massive, massive shows. So if there's someone who's going to be able to give us advice on how he has done that and how we can emulate that, it's going to be Danny, innit? It's Danny Mays. So yeah, I'm just finalising details with Daniel at the moment. I think it's going to be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be next Tuesday. But he's got a bit of a bad back, bless him. So we're just figuring out, what he's going to be able to do, and hopefully we'll get to record a little trailer with him at some time this week. Don't tweet him yet, just in case. Don't want to put him off. Don't tweet. Don't all bombard him and pressure him. But we've been chatting on email. All thanks to Lewis Arnold, who's an incredible director who has just finished directing him in Des, of course. I forgot the name of it then. The David Tennant drama with David Tennant, Jason Watkins, and Daniel Mays. Lewis Arnold's an incredible guy. Again, if you go over into the members area of Acts on This, if you get a membership, we did this live broadcast with him very recently called Crafting Performance in the Edit with Des director Lewis Arnold and his editor Sasha Schwark as well. That was an incredible broadcast, all about how what you have to do on set ultimately for the to get the best in the edit, so that they can enhance your performance in the edit and make you even better than you were on set. Lewis is one of the biggest directors in TV, and will go on. I'm sure his goal is to direct Marvel and stuff like that. I know this guy's going to go on to do it. So yeah, again, another reason why you ought to be joining these and reaching out and making, rapport and relationships with people now, because these are people who are going to be running the industry, well, already do, but are going to be absolutely at the top very soon. Thank you, Rachel, for being here. Ryan says, quick question. I'm moving back to Manchester in 2 weeks. Are there any workshops that usually run there? Yeah, mate. I mean, there's a lot in Manchester. Some is better than others. The price varies a lot. I still get annoyed at companies that are across the country, not just in Manchester, that are charging people any more than sort of 45, 50 quid for a workshop. I mean, actors just should, pay what they want to pay, I guess. But you've got to really look at who's running them and what they're doing and how much time you're going to get one-to-one with the person who's going to be, running that workshop, if it's a casting director or an agent or whatever, because most are like 65 quid or more. Some I've seen at 100 quid down south that are just shit as well. When you look into it and you go, wow, I'm paying £100 for this day and 2 hours of this workshop's a warm-up. Ever in my life am I going to have to warm up for 2 hours, Even when I did big theatre shows, I never warmed up for 2 hours. People just want to just spin money out of you, basically. People I would recommend in the north, in Manchester, Act for TV is a great, a really positive and a real force for good actually as well. Michael Jackson, who runs Act for TV, I've got a big, a big respect for him. He's married to Beverly Keogh, fantastic casting director. He set up Act for TV many years ago. I went to it for about 4 years as a weekly acting class. Taught me way more than drama school did about TV. Drama school taught me for 1 week of 3 years about TV, and I really wanted to work in TV. But Michael's really legit. They're currently running a load of free stuff online for their members as well at the moment, which is really cool. But they sometimes do workshops, one-off masterclasses as well with people, and agent panels as well. So if you're looking for an agent, Ryan, they will bring a panel of 6 agents in, and you'll all perform in front of them. People have been signed to some great, northern agents through those sessions that they run. But they're not just Act for TV. There's lots of other places as well, that I would check out. But post in the forum, mate, and post over on actsonthis.tv in the private forum, and we'll get everyone chipping in, with their suggestions. I can only really ever recommend what I've done, in terms of I don't like to recommend services that I haven't used because I can't truly vouch for them. So I'm sure other people can, though, other people who have been to those stuff. RTV classes decent though. Yeah, if you want to work in TV, they're way more valuable than any drama school degree course out there, in my experience. I only wanted to work in TV and film. I went to one of the best drama schools in the country, but I still learned just nothing about TV and film. I didn't learn anything about the industry either, the business of the business. We just spent 3 years in a bubble doing Chekhov and Shakespeare and Brecht and all these classical plays. And yeah, it was great fun, but you know, back then it cost me 15 grand. Today it costs you 50. I'd probably do it for 15, but not for 50. No way. I left and was like, I just want to do TV. And my acting was very big. It was theatrical. It was too over the top because I'd done theatre for 3 years. Screen acting is so different. You've got to know where you are in the frame. You know, a small look. If I'm looking to camera like this, and you know, I suddenly my eyes move like that, just a little bit, tiny little glance. On camera, everyone's going, "What's Ross just seen? What's he looking at? What's that?" So that looks really big, particularly if it's a tighter close up than even this that I'm on camera now. Whereas in theatre, that wouldn't even be acknowledged. So just being able to really keep still, keep control. Huge discipline around that. I'm very gesticulatory, if that's even a word. I move my hands a lot when I talk. I had to kind of train myself out of that to a certain degree. Just understanding the technicalities of TV, hitting marks, cues, you know, all the etiquette of being on set. Invaluable. Yeah, if you want to work in TV and you haven't ever done TV acting classes, particularly for camera, and also you'll get taught at TV acting classes loads of acting for the audition. That's absolutely critical as well. So when you walk into an audition, you just feel at home and you don't shit your pants every time you hear the beep on the camera. Because that's what I noticed. The more I went to TV acting classes, the more normal auditions felt, until auditions felt like class. And then I knew I was ready to smash it because I'm like, I'm not fazed by this now. And I started booking job after job after job very quickly because my hit rate on auditions went through the roof because I just felt like I was back in class. So yeah, classes for TV, cannot recommend enough, you know, definitely. Acts Up North, yes. Gemma says Acts Up North. I can vouch for Acts Up North. I've never been to the classes, but I know David Crowley's amazing, and Peter Hunt, who's the casting director for Hollyoaks, founded Acts Up North. We had them both on a broadcast recently, and the stuff was coming out of David's mouth was just gold. And Peter, obviously, for casting, but David as an acting tutor just seems absolutely superb. So yeah, Acts Up North, definitely. If you're in the North, I would check Acts Up North out as well. But any other suggestions, whack them in the chat, or you know, whack them in the Facebook group or the private community over on atsonthis.tv, and we will help everyone out. Right, it's 10 past. No, it's not. It's nearly 10 past 9. It's 6 minutes past. Not 9, 10. 6 minutes past 10. I'm out of here. I'm going to go. Thank you so much for being here. But yeah, really looking forward to Thursday night. Go and get your join link now if you're already a member. If you're not already a member of Acts on This, then go and get membership. What you're doing. Go and get membership, and hopefully I will talk to you on Thursday night as well. Drop me a tweet at Act on This TV, at Ross A. Grant. You know, hit me up on Facebook, or you know, if you're part of the private community on Acts on This, tag me in a post on atsonthis.tv, and I will help you out. But I'll finish tonight on the trailer for Thursday night. Again, I'll put that there. I'll just double check the comments. Thanks, Leslie. Thanks for being here. Says great advice, especially the stillness needed while having energy in the piece. Yeah, honestly, I just started looking at actors in Downton Abbey for that, and like going, what are they doing? What's Hugh Bonneville doing in this scene where he's basically a statue, yet he's so alive. He's hardly moving. Everything's in his face. And his performance is so captivating and so strong, even though he's barely moving a muscle. Yeah, watch great actors in some period stuff if you want to sort of learn about stillness. That's where I kind of started looking to go, right, I am way too big. I'm still a little bit, you know, probably a little bit over the top now, but the characters I generally play are like that anyway, so it kind of suits it. So yeah, thanks so much for being here, guys. Really appreciate you all. Thanks for those listening on the audio experience or watching on the YouTube replay or watching on the Facebook replay. Thanks for being here. Yeah, come and join us at atsonthis.tv/live, and I hope to be chatting to you on a live broadcast soon. I'll leave you with this. Until next time, bye for now. Actors, I've got double trouble on the way for you. I want to invite you guys to another incredible atsonthis.tv live webinar taking place on Thursday, the 18th of June at 7:30 p.m. with these two incredible guys here, two of the biggest casting directors we have in the industry, Andy Brierley, Victor Jenkins. You guys are responsible for like massive stuff on your own individually. So Andy, you look after shows like Silent Witness. Victor, you've got Des coming out later this year, a brand new ITV drama starring David Tennant, Jason Watkins and Daniel Mays. And then together, when your powers combine, combine underneath the umbrella of the casting office. Together, you're responsible for huge series as well. Stuff like The Spanish Princess, The Watch, just massive, massive stuff. Thank you so much for doing this. First up, Andy, what we're going to be talking about on Thursday, mate?
We are going to be trying to shine a bit of light on the industry as a whole, from our perspective, say what it's like to work in a casting office and as a casting director, and try and empower actors within that, so that it's not all doom and gloom, it's not all a horror show. There is a load of really good things that actors can do to make sure that they also feel empowered in their own careers.
Absolutely. I love it. You've got to feel empowered. If you want to feel empowered, guys, and you want to join in on this, get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live for full details of how you can join us on the night and get details of how you can join future webinars as well. You're literally going to be able to jump on screen, jump on camera, put your career questions, anything on casting, auditions, anything you like, to Andy, to Victor, anything to help you get further in your career faster. And Victor, a little bit of pressure on you. Why don't actors want to miss it?
Why would you miss it?
Why would you miss it? You don't want to miss it. Be here or be somewhere nowhere near as good for your career. Get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live and we'll see you there.